Hey guys, it's Tiqqle, and in this video, we're going over my user interface. I'm going over all my add-ons, my whole setup, and I'm gonna be doing it for a healer, a melee DPS, and a caster. Ellie, Enhance, Resto. So stay towards the end. I will show you the very specific things I've done for each spec, but I'll go over the general things first. So stay till the end, let's get into it. One other thing I want to point out is this is going to be part of a longer series of PvP guides. I'm going to be doing my UI, my macros, my keybinds, how to switch from becoming a clicker to becoming a keybinder, and some other hot tips that I have for you guys for Enhance, Ellie, our Shaman. So those will be coming after this, but stay tuned for those on this channel. Okay, first things first, how do I set up my frames for targets? So if you look down here, these are the default frames, and you can see, oh wow, I can move it around. How do you do that, Tiqqle? Well, if you right click them, you go to move frames, you can lock or unlock them. So here they're unlocked. They're unlocked right now, so I can move them around. They're usually up in the top left, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and lock them in place. So I put my frame down here next to my target frame, and then if I set my focus, I have it next to my focus frame. I keep it all right here. Why? Because it's kind of towards the center. And a lot of people have huge monitors right now. You don't want to have to move your eyes to way up here or way, way down here, all around. You want to be able to have everything pretty tight knit, because you want to be able to see what's going on wherever you're looking, as well as have everything kind of in the center area. That's why I keep everything in the center. You'll see through my Weakauras, you'll see other things, my Gladius, you'll see it all in here for PvP. For PvE, I actually think it's pretty helpful too, again, because you're all focused in one area. You can get as much information as you can without going to your far peripheries, right? So that's how I do my targeting. Now, if you look at my party frames, they're up here. I use the default Blizzard UI. Now, people don't always know this, and people that are familiar with PvP probably do, but this is the party frame, and it'll go down, with the different blocks, and that's by use raid style party frames. So instead of having each individual party member with all their information here, you just get this rectangle here. So how do you get this set up right? Well, I use raid style party frames. I use power bars to be able to see mana or maelstrom or astral power or whatever it is. I turn off borders because they're scary. I will display pets if I want to. I do class colors. And I also use this drop down health percentage. I use that to be able to see, oh, I'm at 100%, oh, I'm 80%, etc. You can also change the size of them using this stuff. You can see it changing over there. And you can also create profiles. So I've seen Sea-Doo. He has his PvE profile, his PvP profile. I keep it all together, but that's just me. So that's basically this bar. That's this setup. My default Blizzard frames, I basically just use them. I don't see any reason to use anything else. A lot of people use Bartender or other things. I don't. So that's that. This bottom section here is the secondary stats. This is actually called Weakauras. This is a Weakaura specifically set up to show my secondary stats on my screen. That way I can monitor, okay, my crit rate's going up, okay, my verse is going up, etc., etc. I also have an add-on here called Omnibar. I will show some clips of PvP and Arena so that you can kind of see these in action, but this is Omnibar. Omnibar is, once you set it up, you can go into your, interface, add-ons. There's an add-ons tab here. You can go down to Omnibar, and this will be able to track any of the cooldowns of the enemy that you want to follow, things that you might care about, and you can remove the things you don't care about. For example, Demon Hunter I was following fell Eruption when mana burn was big. Guess what? I don't really need to follow that anymore. This is probably the most important for kicks, interrupts that all the classes have. It's good to monitor for that. So Disrupt, I have this as, the Demon Hunter kick. That way I know, should I be using Lightning Lasso? Should I be using a heal right now? That's very important, particularly for healers, but it is really important to just know who has interrupts, because interrupts are a form of crowd control. It stops you from being able to heal. Now, on the right side of my screen, this is where I keep my damage and healing numbers. This is where I'm able to monitor, even mid-game of an arena match or in a BG or in anything, of who's doing the most damage, and I can quickly highlight it to see what's doing it. Oh, this is, okay, Shadow Word Pain. Oh, Bud's Thunderclap's doing most. And I also can monitor healing. Healing is actually almost more important to monitor in a PvP situation. You can see, okay, Demon Hunter's Leech is crazy. Oh, look, the Warrior isn't healing at all. So, that is information that you can make on-the-fly decisions with, so it's very important to have that there. Now, I do use an inventory add-on called Bagnon. Bagnon gives me one bag instead of having all my little compartments. My bag is a mess. I recommend keeping yours clean, but I carry a lot of sets around, so that's that. In my inventory, I use a add-on called Azurite Tooltip. This allows Azurite pieces of gear to show me, okay, what are the 2 outer rings, so that I can know, okay, easily switch between gear if needed. Now, I also use gear sets under Equipment Manager to do that for all my different combinations of gear, but it's also just a good way to be able to see. If I open my inventory, it also is reflected there. I can see Healing Rain and Surging Tides. I also use an add-on called Quartz. It allows me to have my casting bars be modified and be bigger and wherever I want to place them. Personally, I put this one as my main one, and then if my target one goes right above that, I'll be able to see what they're casting. And then if my focus target is actually right here in the bottom left, that way I can monitor for polymorphs, cyclones, chaos bolts, and interrupt them with my keybind setup. I also have add-ons like DBM for PvE. It's useful. I recommend everyone pretty much pick that up. It'll tell you how to play. I also use World Quest Tracker. It allows me to look around the world and basically see what world quests are up, what the drops are. And also I can highlight based on the bottom the factions. So if I have, to do Tortolan, I can highlight this and it flashes on the map, which is useful. I also use an add-on called TrueFi GCD. If you see on the top left here, when I cast an ability, it comes up on the list. Now this is more useful for streaming and for content creation. That way people can see the combos that you're using. Even on cooldowns, not even all casts, any buttons you press are being shown here. So you can see that up there. Even if you cancel a cast, and if you get interrupted, I'm pretty sure it will show it there too. So that's just something for you in case you're making content or you're streaming or anything like that. And this is my enemy nameplates. These are called neat plates. I've been using them for some time. They used to be called tidy plates, and then they changed the name. It's just pretty clean. Shows the debuffs in a very small, discreet manner, and I like it a lot. For a few arena games, I'll show you some other add-ons. Number one, Gladius. Gladius shows you the enemy team, as well as cast bars, dispels, diminishing returns. Very important, and I use Gladius over S Arena because of the dispel, because then we can get some longer CC change or start stacking malediction trinkets. I also use BigDebuffs, which show a big debuff on the raid frames. You can see it here with polymorph and other crowd control that come in or kicks. It gives me a lot more information as a healer for what my teammates have. I also use Arena Team Tracker, which shows me the cooldowns of my teammates to the left of their frames. That way I know what to call out, know what they have, or when they have kicks, so that we can use that to the optimal degree. Here you can see me on Enhance, where I have, maintaining my Flame Tongue and Frostbrand. I'm also using kicks along with my teammates, as well as just forcing pressure. You can see how this close-knit, tight UI setup makes it pretty easy for me to hone in on my target and go after the kill. In this clip, it's a Battleground that we did the other day on stream. Definitely come and join stream and join the fun, twitch.tv/TiqqleThis. But there's an add-on here that shows all my enemies, all the debuffs, diminishing returns, and trinkets on the right side of the screen. This is called Battleground Enemies, very good for battlegrounding. At the end of this, you can see a very important weak aura for healers, which shows a malediction trinket on my buddy Cryptix. This is a weak aura, which we'll get into in a few seconds. Specifically for Resto, Enhanced, and Ellie, I want to show you the few of the weak auras that I've set up. For Resto, I've made a lot. These are very small. They go right here. It's my 2 trinkets to know when they're up. A lot of times there are unused PvE trinkets I'll put in these slots. Why? Why do I put them here? Because our Shaman is very fast-paced. You need to know when your cooldowns are back, especially with some of the smaller ones like Healing Stream. Knowing and using Healing Stream on cooldown is basically a great way to keep your healing per second very high, and that's something I want to make sure I'm doing. I want to know when I have Earthen without looking down at my bars. Makes it so I can pay attention to the game, and when I'm already looking over here at health bars, I'll be able to look over here and see which cooldowns are up. I do have a few other weak auras showing if there's a malediction or a big DPS trinket used on someone. It'll show me who it's on so I know who to dispel, because over here the debuffs and buffs are very small for my friends, and it's a little bit hard to see sometimes when those debuffs are up. I also have a Purge You Idiot one, which is across everything, all my different specs, which allows me to know when my focus target has Divine Favor up, I need to purge him, so it's just a reminder of that. So that's about it for our Shaman. Let's switch to Enhance. So for Enhance, I track only a few things. One is my Wind Shear, which I track on my Ellie as well. I also tracked my Bloodlust, Sunder, and I also keep the uptime of my Frostbrand and Flame Tongue to keep that uptime as high as I can. I also have a Maelstrom tracker up here, so I don't have to look down under my HP bar. And I have a reminder that when I'm above 80, I need to be using Lava Lash to optimize my DPS. I need to make sure I'm dumping the extra Maelstrom that I get. I could also use Heal, but basically alerts me that I have too much Maelstrom. So that's about it for Enhance. Let's switch over to Ellie. So for Ellie, I have very few things that I'm tracking. One is I'm tracking my Maelstrom here at the top. I'm also tracking Lightning Lasso, so I know when that's off cooldown. My Wind Shear. And then I also have 2 in the center, which are around tracking Lava Shock stacks, which is when you have a Flame Shock on a target, it ramps that up to 20 to give you the biggest Earth Shock possible. And then I also have the relenting force or reckless force, which is once it gets to 20 stacks, it procs 70% crit rate, which I'm using for particular builds right now. So that's about it for Ellie. The other thing that you'll probably see in my streams and on my videos is this damage add-on. When I do damage to a target, it pops up here, and I've configured it in a certain way so crits are bigger, you know, at certain limits of what big means. And you know, it's actually a pretty awesome add-on, especially from a casual PvE side. PvP side, it shows you exactly what's doing those sources of damage. This is called Nameplate Scrolling Combat Text. I will say a few things about this. Number one, to set it up like I have it set up, it takes a little bit of finagling. The other thing is the killing blow. If you hit it and it does the killing blow, the number won't pop up. It is a limitation of the add-on. I will show you what I mean. I'll run over here. I find this mob. I kill it. There's no damage that popped up. That's lame. Unfortunately, like for example, if you kill someone with a huge earth shock, that damage number won't pop up. The last hit won't pop up. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. Now, what I would recommend is that you also download advanced interface options when you get this add-on, if you get Nameplate Scrolling Combat Text, because you need to go into the default options here. You need to go into floating combat text and turn off the normal damage text. If you don't, you're going to get extra numbers. You're going to get copies of all the numbers, and you don't want that. That's sloppy. We ain't sloppy. So you can go ahead and go into interface options, floating combat text. Whoops, sorry. I'm still in combat. Yep, you can go ahead and turn all those damage numbers off. Boop. Done. Now you'll only get the floating combat text. So guys, that is the complete setup for my UI. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. Come by the stream, ask me questions there. I'm happy to help. And if you guys have any add-on suggestions you think that I should try or setups that you have that are awesome, come join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description along with all the other links for all the add-ons we talked about today, and we can talk about it. I would love to see some other add-ons. I know someone out there is using Sexy Map and isn't going to tell me. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support, and we will see you on stream or in the next video. Take care, everybody. Good night.